we're from Lily's group, and today we're going to present about age discrimination at workplace. My name is Nurima Gul Hassan, and I'm going to present about the introduction in this report. Age discrimination creates consequences for all that are mostly has a negative impact towards the employers and the employees. For the older employees, the obvious negative consequences can influence in their chance of getting recruitment, hiring, training, working condition, and career development. And for the employers who have biases against older workers, there is a loss of experience and efficiency in the workplace. Report will discuss about the legislation that is applicable in Malaysia, which are from the United States, and will state the types of age discrimination that exist in the workplace. One of the legislation in US is the US State Equal Employee Opportunity Commission, or known as EEOC. EEOC protects workers from injustice based on age, disability, gender or sex, genetic information, national origin, pregnancy, race or color, or their religion. Although differ from EEOC definition, other federal agencies and some state and local laws also protect workers from workplace injustice based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Report defining workplace injustice as workplace-related discrimination, harassment, abuse, and bullying. We considered how this injustice, including bullying, which is usually status blind, might differentially impact workers who are socially disadvantaged. So the next legislation is the Age Discrimination in Employee Act, or known as ADIA. ADIA protects individuals who are 40 years of age and or older from employment discrimination based on age. The Older Workers Benefit Protection Act of 1990 amended that ADIA to specifically prohibited employees from denying benefit to older employees. The EDIA's protection applied to both employees and to the people who are applying the job. Under the EDIA, it is unlawful to discriminate against a person because of his or her age with respect to any terms, condition, or privilege of employment, including hiring, firing, promotion, layoff, compensation, benefits, job assignments, and training. By that, I'm going to continue to my friend.
Okay, I will continue with different type of age discrimination. First, direct discrimination. This happens when someone treats you worse than another person in a similar situation because of your age. Direct age discrimination is permitted provided that the organization or employer can show that there is a good reason for the discrimination. This is known as objective justification. For example, employer refused to allow you to do a training course because she thinks you are too old, but allow younger college to do the training. For case example is Johari and others versus London Mayfair Hotel and in February 2016. The claim were employed in the restaurant and bar of the Mayfair Hotel. Mrs. Pinto and Mrs. Wojsa were employed as restaurant and bar team leader, and Mr. Johari and Mr. Wojdilo as a service assistant. The complaint as of unfair dismissal, wrongful dismissal, and age discrimination. The tribunal investigate whether the creation of a more modern and trendy restaurant translated into a policy of employing waiting and bar staff who were under the age of 30. However, this alone was not enough to shift the burden of proof. The claim therefore failed. The tribunal held that there was was no discrimination against the claim based on their age because post rebranding there were 5 employers who were aged between 30 and 35, which show the modern restaurant design did not equate to employing younger staff.
Now I will continue into the indirect discrimination. When an organization has a particular policy or way of working that applies to everyone but which puts people of your age group at a disadvantage. Okay, for example, you are 22 and you find you are not eligible to be promoted because your employer has a policy that only workers with a postgraduate qualification such as master can be promoted. Okay, let's take the case of Beckham with Magnus Limited in July 27, 2017. The issue for the tribunal was to decide whether the provision was objectively justified as a proportionate means of achieving a legitimate aim. The tribunal found no evidence that Magnus had considered a less discriminatory means of achieving the legitimate aim identified, so the clawback provision was deemed disproportionate. Next case will be harassment. Harassment will occur when someone makes you feel humiliated, offended, or degraded. For example, during a training session at work, the trainer keeps commenting how slow an older employee is at learning how to use a new software package because of his age. Let's take the case of Miss Carolina Gomez v. Henworth case, Limited, Winworth as the agents in June 5, 2017. Her claim of direct age discrimination was concluded to be well-founded, as were the claims for harassment related to age and constructive unfair dismissal. The tribunal was satisfied that the reason for Ms. Gomez's resignation was her treatment. The tribunal concluded that Ms. Gomez's concerns were compounded by the fact that the grievance meeting had not been conducted independently and fairly.
Okay, now I will proceed about victimization. Victimization is when an individual is treated in a determinal way because they have made a complaint or intend to make a complaint about discrimination or harassment, or have given evidence or intend to give evidence relating to complaint about discrimination or harassment. As an example, a manager is approached by someone from another organization. He said that Ms. Ellen has applied for a job and asked for a reference. The manager said that he cannot recommend her as was not accepted by other staff because she was too young and inexperienced. This is direct discrimination due to age. Refer to case Review v. Sanderson Plumbing Product. This case concerns the kind and amount of evidence necessary to sustain a jury verdict that an employer unlawfully discriminated on the basis of age. The court today holds that an employment discrimination plaintiff may survive judgment as a matter of law by submitting two categories of evidence. First, the evidence establishing a prima facie case, as the term is used is McDonnell Douglas Corporation v. Green 411 US. And second, evidence from which a rational fact finder could conclude that employer proffered explanation for its action was false. And then the numbers. The prevalence of age discrimination in the workplace can be surprising. According to AARP, 60% of workers aged 45 to 75 have been discriminated against or have witnessed someone else being discriminated against based on age. The perception of age discrimination among workers in different age brackets may be the most interesting statistic, however, with 45% of those aged 60 to 74 saying it is very common versus 45% of workers aged 45 until 59. Due to Wisdom versus Capita, February 26, 2013, Mr. Wisdom had been in receipt of benefit under a permanent health insurance scheme. When Mr. Wisdom reached the age of 55, Capita stopped the payments. Mr. Wisdom broke a claim to direct age discrimination on the basis of this decision to cut payment at 55. The tribunal upheld by Mr. Wisdom claims of direct and indirect discrimination. The tribunal decided that Mr. Wisdom has treated less favorably than the comparator. He will qualify for permanent health insurance and so continue to receive payment. Let's proceed to Rima.
So in conclusion, in society terms, all stereotypes arise regarding aging remain and economic costs on other age segment of social may go up. Regardless to these factors, it is also important for the society to have a well-functioning social security system so that older workers have a choice between work and their retirement. And age discrimination legislation is therefore important, not only to redress the inequities of the costs associated with discrimination, but perhaps more importantly to distinguish individual older workers' capabilities. So that's all from us. Again, my name is Nurima Hassan. This is
My name is Noshaira Binti Mahat.
And my name is Halifa Raliba binti Alimuddin.
atau kau simpan